Hi everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making number 308 Granny Square of our 365 Days of Granny Squares. This one probably is one of my favorites. It is so beautiful. It is Julie's Sunflower Square, and yep, it is a 3D square. We're making a total of 36 petals in today's flower square today. This is so beautiful. It is designed by Julie over at jpfun.com. Be sure to follow the link in the description of this video to find the written instructions. And let me measure this right away for those of you who ask me every day. This one turned out to be about 19 centimeters, actually 18 centimeters, sorry. 18 centimeters, which is about 7 inches, which is exactly what Julie said in her pattern, that this is a 7-inch square. So make sure that you keep that gauge. If you want to keep it smaller, you can use a smaller crochet hook, but in today's video tutorial, I am going to demonstrate with an H size crochet hook, which is 5 millimeters, so make sure you have that handy, as well as a yarn needle and a scissor, because we'll be cutting our yarn and sewing in our ends, and there's a lot of ends to sew in because we do have to fasten off quite a bit to make these layers of this square, and I'm changing color often. I'm using 3 different colors today. This is Red Heart Super Saver yarns. I know it looks like I only have a little tiny bit of this gold color, but that's because I used all of it in the petals, because it is a lot of yarn in those petals. But I'm using this Red Heart Super Saver yarn. That's a 10 ply size 4 worsted weight medium yarn. You can use a double knitting yarn or worsted weight yarn, totally up to you. That's creator's choice, but like I said, I'm using Red Heart Super Saver. In this square today, we are using a lot of stitches here, a lot of chaining, and then working down these petals for slip stitches, single crochets, half double crochets, and double crochets to make these petals. And then you can see here, I'm going to turn this around, and you can see the back side. We're just doing a round of single crochets, but then we're turning it into a square using double crochets. So that's the back of our square, but this front square part of our square is just so fabulous. That is so 3D and such a great square today. So big thank you to Julie. Before we start, I have to mention there are links in the description of this video. So like I said, there is a link to the written pattern on Julie's website, so you can follow that. And there's a link to my Facebook and Instagram, so make sure you share your photos. Share your photo in the comment section of today's post. Just find this square on the wall. You may have to scroll down a little bit, but it will be on the wall, and you can share your photo in the comment section. Also, you can share a photo on Instagram and hashtag 365 Days of Granny Squares and hashtag YARNutopia so I can see your square. You can also Snapchat me. I'm YARNutopia on Snapchat, so make sure you snap me a photo or snap me whatever is on your hook today. I'd love to see what's on your hooks. And I have to say a big thank you to my dad, Fuad, Azmat, for taking the time to make this video with us. He is our videographer, editor, and photographer for all of our videos. So hit that subscribe button, hit that eye in the corner, and support YARNutopia so that we can keep bringing you these crochet tutorials. So now, let's get started and make number 308 Granny Square. Let's start out with a slip knot, so put your short end over the long end, then fold that down and pull that through and pull tight. Insert your hook and we can start. Let's start out by chaining 4, so yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and 4. And now we're going to go all the way to the first chain way over here and make a slip stitch to form a ring. So go into that chain, yarn over, pull through, and pull tight. And there's our ring. If you know how to start with the magic ring, you can start that way as well, but going right on to round 1, we're going to chain up 1, so yarn over and pull through. And into this ring, we are going to put 12 single crochets. So just go into the ring, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that's a single crochet. So again, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's 2. Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 3. This is 4. 5 is here. Then 6. Here's 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. And last one here is 12. Now, if you need to, count backwards to 12. You should have 12 stitches around. We're going to slip stitch to the first single crochet of this round. So right in here, go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And there's round number 1. Going on to round 2, I'm not going to change color. If you want to change color, you can fasten off anywhere here, or fasten off here, and then we're going to start in any stitch around. I'm going to keep this color. We're going to chain up 1. And now we're actually going to work in the back loops only of this round. So usually we work through both loops like this, both loops, both loops, both loops. This round we're going to work in the back loop. So this is considered the back loop here. Okay, so it'll give this like little ribbed effect with this being unworked, these front loops here being unworked, and we're going to work in these back loops to give that effect. So we're going to chain up 1 like I showed you there, and then we're going to single crochet twice in this first stitch. So again, go in this back loop. The first stitch might be a little difficult. Go in the back loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And again, go back in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And we're going to put 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So go into this next stitch, back loop only, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, next stitch, back loop only. Just work 2 single crochets into each stitch in the back loop only all the way around. At the end of this round, you'll have 24 single crochets, so I'll meet you up for round 3. Alright, when you come back around, if you need to, count back 24, and you should have the 24 single crochets. We're going to go into this first one. You can go in both loops or just the back loop to slip stitch into this first one. So just go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And now for round 3, we're going to basically do another increase, very similar to our last increase. So we're going to chain up 1. We're still going to work in the back loops only, and we're going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch here. So right in this first one that we just slip stitched into, it's going to be kind of difficult to get in there, but we're going to go in for 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2 in the back loop only, and then we're only going to put 1 single crochet in this next stitch here in the back loop. So go in the back loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're just going to repeat that around. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch in the back loops only. So 1 and 2. And then 1 single crochet in the back loop of this next stitch here. Okay, then the next stitch gets 2 single crochets. And then the next stitch after that just gets 1 single crochet. So at the end of round 3, you'll have 36 single crochets. And remember to work in the back loop only. And then I'll finish this round off camera, and then I'll meet you up for the next round. Alright, finishing round 3, if you need to count back 36, you should have 36 single crochets. So we're going to slip stitch to this first single crochet of this round. Just go in. You can go under both loops or just the back loop, totally up to you. I'm going under both loops, yarning over, pulling through, and through. And at this point, I'm going to change color because we're going to make our petals next. And for our petals, we're going to work in the back loops only again. And I'm going to fasten off here. So chain 1, cut that yarn, pull it through, and pull tight. You can start in any stitch around. I'm going to start right where we slip stitched, and I'm going to start in the back loop only. Okay, so just the back loop of that first stitch. And I'm going to grab this color here, hook it on the hook, and then, if I can hook it on my hook, there we go, pull it through. And now we're going to chain up 8. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as anything. So the second chain is this is first chain, and this is the second chain. And what I usually like to do is, you can see your chain like this. I like to turn my work toward me like this, so you can see that there's these back ridges here. There's a back ridge, back ridge, back ridge. I'm going to work in those back ridges. So the second chain from the hook, 1 and 2, right in here, go in for a slip stitch. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through that loop on your hook. Just like that. Then we're going to single crochet into the next chain. So go into this next chain here, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And we're also going to single crochet into the next chain. So go into this next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to half double crochet in each of the next 2 chains. So yarn over, go into this next chain, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Okay, that's a half double crochet. So again, yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Then we're going to double crochet in each of these last 2 here. So yarn over, go into this next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through only 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. Okay, that is a double crochet. So again, yarn over, go into the next chain or the last chain here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, then we're going to skip over this next stitch right here. We're skipping this stitch. We're going to go into the back loop of this next stitch here, and we're going to make a slip stitch in there. So yarn over and pull through that and pull through the loop on your hook. And there's 1 petal. Looks awesome. So we're going to just repeat that then all the way around. So we're going to chain 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. The next chain gets a single crochet. The next chain after that gets a single crochet. The next chain after that gets a half double crochet. Then the next chain after that gets a half double crochet as well. And then these last 2 on here get a double crochet each. So 1 double crochet and 2 double crochet. Okay, then we're going to skip this next stitch right here. We're going to go into the back loop of this next stitch here and make a slip stitch. So yarn over and pull through and through. All right, and we're just going to repeat. So chain 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then just make the series of stitches down this chain. If you need to, follow along with the written pattern or rewind this video to see what I did for those other petals, but just do that all the way around and make sure you're skipping that stitch in between that thing here. We're going to skip that underneath this petal. So you'll skip the next stitch and then slip stitch into the next when you come back down this petal here. So just do that all the way around, and then I will meet you up for the next round. Alright, so once you finish your last petal here, we have to slip stitch to the first chain of our beginning chain 8 here. So on this first petal, go down under here. Okay, right in there. And then yarn over and pull through and pull through, just like that. Now at this point, if you're changing color or not, you're going to have to fasten off anyway, so chain 1 and cut your yarn, pull it through and pull tight, and you have to look at this. This is so awesome. It's like a big huge flower applique. You could use this actually as an applique to something, I don't know, maybe a blanket or I don't know if you want to put it on the side of a hat, that'd be kind of cool, but we still have to make this into a square. So you should have 18 petals by this time. Now, going on to round 5, we are actually going to work behind our petals, so take this, pull it forward, okay, so you're working behind the petals, and you can see here the skipped stitch, which is right here. We're going to work in that back loop of the skipped stitch. So if you move this petal forward, you can see we can work under both loops, but we're not. It's actually very crucial in this round to work in the back loop only, okay, of the skipped single crochets from the previous round, okay? So we're going to go into that back loop there, and then we're going to hook on a color or yarn here, pull that through, and then we're going to chain up 1. Okay, in the same stitch, we are going to put 2 single crochets. So go into that back loop of that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and again, go back into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So now when you put your petal forward, you won't see it, but you can see that there is that free loop from the front loop of that same stitch, because in our very last round, we are going to work in these front loops, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? So now we're gonna hop to the next free stitch that's unused here in the back loop only. Right in here, go in and make 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay, then hop into the next petal here, right down in here, that skipped stitch, make 2 single crochets. Okay, just like that. So go to the next petal. They'll be right under the petals, and you'll see the skipped stitch right there. We're going to go in the back loop only, and we're just doing this all the way around. Okay, just like so. So at the end of this round, you will have 36 single crochets. So then I'm going to do that all the way around, and then I'll meet you up for round 6. Alright, when you come back around, be sure to count back that you do have 36 single crochets around, and then slip stitch to this first single crochet right here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Your petals probably are a little wonky right now, but don't worry about that. We will fix them later. So now we're going to work into these stitches that we just made from this round, round 5. We're going on to round 6 now, and we're going to work in both loops now. So no working in back loops anymore. We're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and that counts as our first double crochet of this round. And now we're going to double crochet into the same stitch. So yarn over, go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 more loops. So now it looks like there's 2 double crochets in that same stitch. Now we're going to chain 2, so yarn over and pull through 1 and 2, and in the next stitch we're going to put 2 double crochets in there. So yarn over, go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a double crochet. So again, yarn over, go back into the same stitch and put another double crochet in there. And there you can kind of see the corner is being formed. Awesome. Going on to the next step, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip the next 2 double crochets. Oh, 2 stitches. Skip next stitch. Sorry, no, just skip the next 1 stitch. We're going to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So yarn over, skip this stitch, go into this stitch for 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. Okay, and another time. We're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then we're going to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to chain 1 and skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch we're going to put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2, just like that. We're going to make our corner, so we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to put 2 double crochets in the very next stitch. So don't skip any stitches here for the corner. We're just going to put 2 double crochets like that, right next to each other. So there's our next corner. So you can see here, that's our side, okay, and that's our corner. So now we're just going to repeat what we did. So chain 1, skip the next stitch, and put 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2, then chain 1, skip the next stitch, put 2 double crochets into the next stitch, then chain 1, skip the next stitch, put 2 double crochets in the next stitch, okay, then chain 1, skip the next stitch, and now we're going to make our corner stitches. So we're going to put 2 double crochets in this stitch here, 1 and 2, then chain 2, 1, 2, and then in the very next stitch right here we're going to put 2 double crochets. Okay, and now we're going to make our next side. So chain 1, skip the next stitch, put 2 double crochets in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. Then chain 1, skip the next stitch, put 2 double crochets in the next stitch. Then chain 1, skip the next stitch, and we're going to make our corner. So in this stitch here, we're going to put 2 double crochets, 1, 2, then chain 2, 1, 2, and in the very next stitch we're going to put 2 double crochets. Okay, so for our corners we're not skipping any stitches in between there. We're just going to put them right next to each other. So now we just have one more side to do. So chain 1, skip the next stitch, put 2 double crochets in the next. Then chain 1, skip the next stitch, put 2 double crochets in the next. Then chain 1, skip the next stitch, put 2 double crochets in the next. And then to finish this round, we're going to chain 1, skip this last stitch, and now we're going to slip stitch to this beginning chain up 3 here. 1, 2, 3, go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Awesome. So now you can kind of see that the square shape is taking form. If you turn this around, you can see the back side of it. So there's our square shape here. So now going on to round 7, if you want to, you can fasten off here and change color. I'm not yet though, so I'm going to start in a corner. So we're going to slip stitch into this next stitch here and into the corner. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And for round 7, we are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. In the same chain 2 space, we're going to put a double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and in the same space, we are going to put 2 more double crochets. Oopsie. 1 and 2. Okay, so there's our corner. Then we are going to chain 1, and in this chain 1 space here, we're going to put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, then we're just going to repeat that. So chain 1, hop into the next chain 1 space and put 2 double crochets in there. 1 and 2. Okay, you will still have to move these petals forward so you can see where you're working here. So chain 1, hop into the next chain 1 space and make 2 double crochets in there. Then chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. Then chain 1, and now in the corner chain 2 spaces, we're going to put 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, then chain 2, 1, 2, and put 2 more double crochets into that same corner space. Alright, so now we're just going to repeat what we did on this whole side and this corner for each side and each corner around. So chain 1, go into the chain 1 spaces and put 2 double crochets in each of the chain 1 spaces. Make sure to chain 1 in between your groupings. And in the corners, we're putting 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. Okay, but then make sure you chain 1 after the corner and before the corner, just like so. You can follow along with the written pattern or rewind this video to see what exactly I did, but just repeat that for each side and each corner, and then I'll meet you up at the end of this round. When you're finished with this round, make sure to chain that 1 and then slip stitch to the beginning chain up 3 of this round. So right in the top here, go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. Now, if you are changing color at this point, you can fasten off here and start in any corner. I'm not going to change color. I'm just going to slip stitch into this next stitch like this, and then into the chain 2 corner space like this. And then we're basically going to repeat what we did for the last round. So chain up 3, and then put a double crochet into the same corner, then chain 2, and put 2 more double crochets in the same corner. Then we're going to chain 1, hop into this chain 1 space here and put 2 double crochets in there, and then chain 1 and put 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. Just keep doing that. Just basically repeat the last round, putting 2 double crochets into the chain 1 spaces. Make sure to chain 1 like this after your grouping, and just hop into the next chain 1 space to put 2 double crochets in there. And when you get to the corner, make sure before you go into the corner to chain 1 like this, and then in the corner chain 2 spaces, put 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. But then be sure to chain 1 after that, and then continue working the pattern. So put 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space on this side. Okay, so now we've turned the corner and we're doing that. So basically just repeat what we did for round 7 there. So this is round 8, and then I'll meet you up for round 9. When you're finished with this round, make sure to chain that 1 and then slip stitch to the beginning of this chain up 3 here. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Now at this point you can continue working these repeat rounds, making your square as big as you want, but I'm just going to do one more round around here, just doing a single crochet round. So I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet into the same stitch here and into the next double crochet. And in the corners I'm going to be putting 2 single crochet, then I'm going to, let's see here, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 more single crochets. Okay, in the corners. And on each side here, when we go on each side, we're going to put a single crochet into each stitch and in each chain 1 space. Okay, just like that. So single crochet in each of the next 2 double crochets and in each chain 1 space. So just keep doing that all the way around. We're just doing a simple single crochet round on this round. In the corners, be sure to put 2 single crochet, chain 2, and 2 single crochet. Then, after we're done with this, you can, make yours as big as you want. Like I said, you could repeat round 8 to make it as big as you want, and then just do a single crochet round when you're done. But after this round, I'm actually going to do a second layer of petals, but that is optional. So I'll just show you how to do that when I finish this round. Alright, when you're finished with this round, you need to slip stitch to the first single crochet. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And now we can fasten off this part. So chain 1, cut your yarn, pull it through, and pull tight. And then you can weave in that end. Now this next part is optional. If you want to, you can just have your square look like this, and it's very beautiful, very much a 3D square and very pretty floral design. But in the written pattern, there are 2 layers of these petals here. So what I'm going to do is work in the skipped stitches that the ones that we skipped from, actually not the skipped stitches, the front loops of those ones. Remember I said it was crucial to work in the back loop for this round here? We're going to work in that front loop there, but we're going to work in the front of our petals this time. So that round, what was that, round 5? We worked in the back loops and behind the petals. Now we're going to work in the front loop in the front of the petals, okay? And we're going to work in the skipped stitch. So you can see here, this stitch right underneath this petal, there's that front loop there, okay? And then there's this stitch which is already worked in, so we're going to work in this stitch that we skipped right here. Okay, so the skipped stitches from round 4. Okay, the stitches we skipped from round 4, we're working in these front loops here. You can start in any one of them, and you can use a different color for petals or the same color you used for your first round of petals, totally up to you. I'm going to use the same color as my other petals. making this more of a sunflowery design. Okay, so we're just going to pull that through there. And then we're actually going to chain up 6. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. So remember how we did that. We're going to work in the back ridges, and in the second chain, 1, 2, right in here. So go in there, make a slip stitch, so yarn over, pull through and through. Then we're going to single crochet in each of the next 2 chains, 1 and 2. Sorry, this petal is in the way. There we go. And then in these last 2 here, we're going to half double crochet in each one of those. So yarn over, go into this next one, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And this last one here, we're going to yarn over, go in to that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to skip over this stitch here. Okay, it's worked with there's a slip stitch in that back loop of that stitch right there. And we're going to go into this stitch here right under this petal. You can see that we skipped that front loop there. We're going to go into there. Okay, then yarn over and pull through that loop on your hook and pull tight for a slip stitch. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that around. So chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, then single crochet into the next chain, single crochet into the next chain after that, then half double crochet into the next chain, and half double crochet into the last chain. Then skip this next stitch right here, okay, and go into this next stitch in the front loop there and slip stitch into that. Okay, so you can see here our petals we're making smaller than the ones in the back, shorter, and they're turning out like that. Okay, so we're going to continue working this all the way around, and then once I get finished with this round, we're just repeating. So chain 6, make your petals, then skip the next stitch and slip stitch into the next. Okay, and we're working in those front loops only, so do that all the way around, and I'll meet you up when I'm about to fasten off. Alright, when you're finished making your last petal, be sure to slip stitch to the bottom of this petal right here in their first chain of our beginning chain 6. Go into there, then yarn over and pull through and pull through. And now after all those petals, we can fasten off. So chain 1, cut that yarn, pull it through and pull tight, and then grab your yarn needle and sew in your ends. And there you have it. It's our square for the day. That was a lot of petals, but in the end it is so beautiful. So it's number 308 granny square complete. Big giant thank you to Julie for designing this square and allowing us to use it in our project. If you are having a wonky flower here, make sure to just manipulate your petals to make them look pretty. If you want to, you can pin each one down and then spray this with water and block your square. But that is awesome. Look at how pretty that turned out to be. So thank you so much for watching. I would love to see your flowers today. Have a bright, happy day. So make sure to share them on the Facebook and Instagram. #365 Days of Granny Squares. I will see you tomorrow. Happy hooking!